Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds, and it is the first week of September. What are things as beekeepers that we need to look for? Obviously, there's some variables between what's going on in Canada right now and what's going on in Tennessee. But what's going on in Tennessee is we just have the start of the fall flow going. We have some pollens. Goldenrod hasn't become a contributor yet, but it will very soon. So there should be somewhat of a fall flow. Now, will it add a lot of weight to our colonies, or will it be just enough to kind of help beef them up? We're going to have to see what's going on, and I'm a huge proponent of, in September, during the flows in this area, getting into colonies, assessing what's going on. So let's assess. So we want to make sure there's plenty of stores. This colony is in the experimental yard. This is hive number 52 right here. You can see there's a little bit of a piece of duct tape. And this has been treated 5 times with oxalic acid vapor in a 15-day period. So, top box, we have our 2-gallon frame feeder and a couple of hive beetles. So I'm looking in here and seeing what kind of food reserves. There's one, got one. And I'm seeing capped honey. We probably won't spend much time in this box. Honestly, for the video, I'm going to pull a frame out, but what I would do is just pop this box and I would pick it up, and then I would assess how heavy it was. Okay, this frame's about half full. It's got a little bit of capped stuff. There's a little bit of capped brood in there. Several small hive beetles, so we need to do something about that if we can. And I'll have a video on small hive beetle traps very shortly. A little bit of a different version of it that I'm pretty excited about. And I think this would be a good hive to try it out on. Alright, so that's not heavy enough. That needs to feel like a box of rocks. Another beetle. Let's see what the queen's laying pattern is. As you can observe, I have 10 frames to a deep. And here is some brood. And, you know, that's nothing to really write home about. It's not the worst thing either. Not seeing a lot of food up in here. This colony needs more weight. Honestly, I'd give this one, just from the initial weight check and looking at this center frame, I'm going to give this 2 gallons of 1-to-1. It doesn't matter if there's a fall float on the way. We've got to make sure that we have plenty of food in here so they don't hold back at all. We got some drone brood over in here. It's a queen cup. Nothing really special on that side at all. Didn't see the queen. And we are just going to keep going down. Now I'm really wanting to, I know what we need to do food-wise. We need to add some weight to this colony, absolutely. But I want to evaluate the queen and see where we are at with her. And this frame is not anything special either. I'm not seeing any young stuff in here. Another queen cup. There's nothing in it though. I'm just going to drop that down. Doesn't look like there's much brood on this side. Some of you may be asking, Kamon, why do you have 3 deeps? Well, I got them to draw out quite a bit of comb earlier this season. I just haven't taken it off yet. This doesn't hardly have any brood in it at all. And I think it should. There's some on this side. A little bit of young stuff. This isn't what I'm wanting to see right here. I'm wanting to see some better patterns. These frames are really light. Definitely need 2 gallons of syrup in that frame feeder now. There's the queen right there. So she's going about her business. I suspect that if we give them a little bit of feed, she'll crank up the laying production up a little bit. But I've got my eye on this one. I want to do a little bit more of a deep dive into that bottom box and evaluate the brood patterns a little bit more. I'm not sold on this brood pattern. I've got extra queens that are this year's queens, and if this queen does not convince me in the next week or so, I'm going to requeen this colony and plug in one of those nukes, because this colony has potential to be good, but they need a better queen. Honestly, I might just go ahead and requeen it anyways. And that happens. And good, vigorous queens make overwinter survival way, way better. I mean, there's a decent bit of bees down in there, if you'll look, but we need to see future bees on the way. And I know we have some pollen flowing in. I have colonies that have bricks of brood right now, as far as frames that are just solid patterns. And I have many, many colonies in this yard that just have gorgeous looking frames. That's why as instructors, we recommend to have at least 2 hives minimum. 3 hives is a good place to start, so you have hives to compare each other to. Because if you have one that's really just, man, look at these patterns, look at this, look at that, and you have this one over here that's not doing as good, then it's really a lot easier to go, whoa, this is the potential this other one could be having. Why is this one behind? So that's what I'm wondering, why is this one behind? Getting a little bit of wind today. Feels good though. And let's see if she's been down here in the bottom busy. Yeah, this pattern's just nothing real special. It's real spotty looking. That does not look good to me. I mean, this right here screams requeen, requeen. I'm not seeing any EFB. And it seems like I'm seeing a little bit more excess odd looking drones. I mean, it's normal to see some drones, but I don't know. This pattern just does not look good. It does not look good. I think we need to requeen this queen. And there are folks that will tell you that the bees always know what's best. Ask the dead colonies that question. Oh wait, you can't. Bees don't always know what's best. Some colonies will requeen when they need to. Other colonies will ride a poor queen to their doom. And I don't know why that is, but it just is that way. And so as beekeepers, if we want to have high percentages of success, we have to make sure that we notice when the bees aren't getting things done that they should. Alright, there's a halfway decent bit of larvae down in there. There's this runty looking queen cell right here. That's awful looking. It looks like it had something they started, but yeah, maybe they're trying to supersede lightly. I don't know. Got plenty of bee bread in some of these frames. And this colony is light on food, but it's not so light that it shouldn't have a better pattern than this. This is why you always have backup plans. Yeah, there's not enough brood in here. This colony is going downhill. And this isn't good. Now, here's an interesting thought. There has been some folks telling me, Kamon, if you use that much oxalic acid, as we did for the test, that will cause queen supersedure and all of that kind of stuff. Well, this is only one of the colonies, but you can bet your boots I will definitely be going through all the rest of them, like I do normally, and evaluating them. And it'll be interesting to see if high levels of oxalic acid do cause some queen loss. If that's the case, that will be really important to know. These bees are starting to get real chippy here towards the bottom. Yeah, okay. Look at all this bee bread we have down in here. That's great. This was a question that I got recently. Kamon, I've got a colony that has tons of bee bread, but it's really not that great. Are they getting pollen bound? And if it's in spring, you can get pollen bound sort of, but really that bee bread is telling me this queen's not good enough. If this queen was really laying the brood, they would have some bee bread this time of the year, but not a ton left over. They're burning it up to create those winter bees and that big population to go into winter. And that queen's just not laying fast enough to get the job done right. And since she's not laying fast enough, they're not using as much protein. That doesn't mean they're not going to go out there and still bring it in and create more bee bread. So anyways, this is an interesting situation. So really what I'm planning on doing with this colony is grabbing that queen. We will eliminate her very swiftly. And then we are going to grab a split from one of our mating nukes. They're usually about 3 to 4 frames in strength now. And they're perfect size because not only are we adding a fresh, awesome queen into this colony, which will help right the ship and save this colony, but then on top of that, we're going to go ahead and just plug all the brood in there too. So it's going to fix this thing entirely and put it right where it needs to be for a prime position to go into winter. So thanks for watching this video. I'm going to throw all this together. These things happen. And if you're wanting 10 colonies, it's a good idea to have 12 or 13, heck 15. If you have too many bees, maybe, I don't know. Laurel says yes you can. It's always good to have backup plans. Professional beekeepers at the highest level that I've sat down to dinner with and talked to them about these situations, like, yeah, there's just not a lot you can do about that. You just got to plan for those things to happen. And after varroa mites, queen issues is my #2 problem for why I lose colonies. So we're going to save this one. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.